Okay, so I was rambling on without the camera on. You can see I've got my Jack's hat on here from my last job, my last real employment where I was a cook. And you know what? It wasn't a bad job. It wasn't my favorite job, but I was glad to have a job at the time. But sometimes, like, I move around from place to place. I invest where I believe there's an opportunity, and sometimes that may only last a few months or whatever, and I move on. But I guess I'm sort of always looking for the next opportunity. So, and that opportunity may be here today. And I feel like if I just convince enough people to like believe in me, then they can give me the help I need to get where I need to go. Because like I look into like okay, here's the deal. I've been trying to get into media for a long time. I tried getting on local radio, got turned down and ignored and canceled when I met this guy in person. Long story, but it didn't happen. It could happen. I met these rap people when I was doing rap music, which I'm not doing anymore, which was just how I got started doing all this stuff. And then I couldn't get on the song with the guy, who I'm not going to name, who also made a bunch of songs about me, but yet he would never let me on the song. So like, what's the joke here? What's the big joke? The big joke is on me, or is it on this country that refuses to give me time and space to do what I want to do? So here, the thing is, I'm the producer, the director, and the artist, but okay, that comes with more responsibility than if you've got writers and you've got all these other people involved. But like that's just how it evolved, and how and I think I can do. That's just that. And I mentioned this in my rant that I was just ranting to the air. And by the way, there's no surveillance in any of the houses or on the computers or laptops when people are having private conversations. Everything is being freaking recorded. So even if I don't have a mic on, I know I'm being recorded. Like everywhere I go, it's just and people, you know what? The worst part about it is like I have a level of fame that puts me in media stories. So I'm like, oh, they're talking about me. It's not just all in my head. I can prove it pretty much. Not even like going back 20 years into movies like Terminator or Top Gun, but like I'm told privately, like, oh, you're some military guy and we need your information and you're gonna help us figure out your psychic and you're gonna figure out the future and all this weird stuff. But it's like, look, that's bullshit, man. I only need, I mean, that's great and everything, but like when I'm trying to grab for the money, every time I try to put my hand out to get paid, people say, no, you can't have this. And I thought this was America, and so, yeah, people are like alarmed that I'm saying, well, I'm going to run for the House of Representatives in 2024 or Senate in 2026 in my here in Alabama. And but it's not here in Alabama for me, because I'm more liberal. The rap music is kind of liberal. Some of my views are environmental, protecting the environment, wildlife conservation, the whole. But I was against the whole COVID lockdown. I mean, and I'm pro business and low tax, but like, I got a low price internet connection from this administration and a two free phones, so I like that, and I don't know, but the point is like I don't have time for all this. I don't have time to just go back and forth about politics. It's something. It's just I feel like Hollywood has really put me out on a limb by, and like I've gotten stuff on Netflix written about me, and like I can't prove it. I'm just saying, like, why can't I have a radio show on Spotify? That's one thing I would like to do. Let's say I'm 30 years old or whatever, and like I can only do it for 5 or 10 years. Fine, but if you look on the bright side, like radio, you can just do radio forever. I mean, and like radio doesn't have to be political. There's a lot of shows that are non-political that are radio that are very popular, and I feel like my show is good. I've used music from Eminem and 50 Cent and clips from CNBC, and I did all that worried that I was didn't email the right people, didn't get the approval for the clips. I already had Cardi B complain to Spotify over a rap song I made in which she got them to take my whole podcast down, which was like at least 20 episodes of stuff. But all you have to do is go to Google, or Microsoft Bing. Search for David McCullough Cash, DavidMcCulloughCash, and you'll find my stuff. Still fighting for the top with David McCullough, the late uh, author who died recently at the age of 89. The reason I know this is because he shares the same name as me, so we were kind of competing over the web space, but I followed his work, I respected him, and he wrote like 100 books, and he's like, I mean, but like I'm trying to go to Amazon and publish a book because I'm releasing like mini books and white papers on the Internet Archive. But like to do all this stuff, just to make this video, I have to put so much energy and effort into it, and so I'm just I'm just bounced around from job to job when people employers aren't don't don't understand that I'm college educated and I dropped out, and that was my biggest mistake, was dropping out of college. But I like it just somehow led me to this place, and even when I was like 26, when I started getting started in music, which was sort of a disaster. But the point is that I could have had a big I had an insurance job that was leading me into investment banking and all this stuff, and I could have been like managed mutual funds um and uh done annuities, signed up, invested in different stocks and all this stuff. But like they said you're a producer, and that was the term for an agent at this company. And so I thought, oh, what about being a music producer? And back then, DJ Khaled but like these people, these black people, these Republicans, a lot of them don't like this stuff, and they don't get rap music. And I just grew up with rap music, and it was a positive influence for me. Even though now a lot of times it isn't, I still will listen to some stuff on the radio, at least when I wake up at 4 in the morning to go give blood in exchange for money, which is like the only give plasma to make like $100 or a few $100s in, and that's the only way I'm paying my bills right now. But before this, and I've done that a few times, but I don't like doing that. And the money. Oh, I'll tell you about it. Well, look. If you want to go donate plasma, it saves lives. Whatever. Grifold's Biomat is the place I go. Um, they take like about, I don't know, a pint, half a pint of blood, like a thing like this big and this wide, but it takes about an hour. And anyway, it saves lives, and they give you like $100 every time. But it's kind of a scam, because it's like the first 4 times they give you $100, or 125 the first 2 times, then 100 the second 2 times, and then after the first 4 donations, you you go to $50 each time. So it's going to cost me 3 different trips to get enough money, and that's $150 to do what I need to do to get the necessary equipment and funds and everything together to make like more videos, more podcasts, etc. So it's kind of like, and like people, I have in defense of Trump, I've had legal inquiries about me. I've had letters from people that, as far as a way as, I'm doing international business in some instances with companies with factories overseas, and ordering things and then getting letters in the mail. And like the point is that like I feel persecuted, and I feel like I'm just trying to maintain. My name is all I have, and when it and that the only way I felt like I could represent myself was to just represent myself as my full legal name, Dave McCullough Cash. When I started finding stuff pop up on the internet that sort of slandered me or defamed me or just wasn't how I wanted to sound. So now, about a year or two later, after all this, maybe 2 years. It's been about 2 years since I started my name campaign, which could turn into a business name or whatever. But I don't have like reputation defender or anything, and but I've just had to sort of try to make a name that way, and I think I've got people's attention. But what I would like to say is that just because my parents have money doesn't mean that I have money, and they don't really share their money with me. I mean, I get paid $12 an hour by them at their business, at their real estate business, which sure it's valued, it's worth a good deal of money. but it's, in the few millions. But it's not my money. I get $12 an hour to go spray Roundup on weeds and go clip hedges and go use a chainsaw to cut down trees and stuff. And that's not even. And I honestly like Jack's more than that because as a cook, just cooking hamburgers and bacon and blah blah blah. I worked at McDonald's as a cook too, but like the point is like when you don't graduate college, you just end up slipping through the cracks and like you just go from job to job with no like solid ground and you just don't know what's going on. But like okay, I'm at 10 minutes, so but like people just get mad that I even try to say anything and they get upset every time I gain a few pounds or lose a few pounds, and I've been told, well, your looks change and all the time, so we can't verify that it's you. What does it matter? You already have like Eminem lookalikes and 50 Cent lookalikes and Mike Myers from Austin Powers coming back 20 years later looking different. So what does it matter if I look like a bunch of different people? Who cares? I'm still gonna. They can just think it's a bunch of different people with plastic surgery or whatever. And like really I'm already exposed to legal trouble because of my parents and all the political stuff and all the media attention that isn't really helping me because I'm not being named. All you got to do is say David Cash or David McCullough Cash. I've already made it my broadcast public domain. I've got it in writing on my Internet Archive. All my and I should put that on my YouTube page too. That's illegal. That'll hold up in court. Here's a photo of what he said. I said all my stuff is public domain. You can reproduce it as long as you don't alter the content. So if you want to say something, this is what we think about it, blah blah blah. Even if you criticize it, at least I got played on local TV or national TV or wherever it is. But like, if I don't know who to email to ask to get a spot on Joe Rogan or like, and I don't know like if I can fly to Texas unless they pay the bill. But like, I can do that right here where I live. But why name the town when the town won't name me? They'll only name me as a suspect in a fucking investigation or a goddamn some stupid story about you know whatever, some family dispute or who knows what legal thing or the real estate crap or whatever. But we have, and I also mentioned my family has some interesting stuff too, and I'm good at telling stories better than they are. My mom is too, kind of, but she's sort of the whole business that you believe, the whole life you think I live is not real. Look at my where I'm at. Does this look like Mar-a-Lago? Does this look like $1 million loft? I mean, I'm, I'm making the bare minimum, and all I can even legally make because of my VA disability after joining the military in 2008 for 1 year for the Army Reserves. I had to lose my house that my parents had bought for me and move away to North Carolina for like 4 years and go live in a house with like a bunch of guys and this Marine guy. It was just bullshit. I shouldn't have even been there, but had I not done that, the business would have never gotten started in the first place. People always forget that. I do have some equity in the business, but it's like a nest egg. It's like a retirement fund and passive income. It's not passive income. I mean, passive income would be the stuff if you just did the stuff a realtor did. The stuff that I don't like it really, and I may just eventually. But like, I want to meet with my dad. We meet like every week, and we go do stuff at the houses, and there's like 30 to 40 of them. But those aren't my houses. And in the future, if they are mine, it's because everyone else is dead except me. Or that could turn out that it could turn out a bunch of ways. But the point is that all those prices are like on my head, and all that pressure is on me to be this perfect person, and my city won't give me. I mean, my look. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just my city isn't built to make somebody like me famous and to make me somebody like me profitable because the city itself is in flux and it's not established. But like that's the same way as Austin, Texas. So if people could just send me an email at cashdavid3701 at gmail.com or jamesmuskov at gmail.com, musjaymes muskov You would see that if you have an offer for me or you want to interview me locally, especially since I probably am not going to be able to fly anywhere unless you pay for it. But like, look, what do I have to lose? All I've got is my VA disability, and you can go check with the fucking Veterans Administration and these goddamn military people I've got like crawling all over my place and my fucking life. My whole life is fucked up now, and I just and I only have 30 minutes for this video, but I'm just gonna leave it at that and just say, if you don't realize that all you got to do is name me, and then people will start searching and they'll find my stuff. That's only going to help me. And no amount of money is nothing that I can't control, and I don't have to accept any money anybody gives me, and I could barely even get money out of the Dollar General to go buy a case of beer, which I'm not supposed to be able to do either, because I don't want that on my ATM statements. Now I can only get a certain amount out of the ATM. Like, what is going on here? And I'm tired of this. And then I mean, like, really, I'm not asking you. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It just seems like I'm desperate, but I'm really just getting frustrated. And I'm not. If people are mad that I keep talking about political stuff, it's just because this media stuff doesn't, these media people don't seem to want to be giving me the time of day except to talk about me and make fun of me or just keep me in the news, but not really name me or say, hey, Bob. I mean, like, not everybody is paying to be named by these people. Some of them are, but I feel like I'm at the level where I don't even have the money to pay somebody if I did want to be featured on some show or done on some thing or something. So, like, and I can't even I can't publish my books through Amazon either because I don't have the money to pay them for that. And of course, they want the whole $200 to publish a whole book of like 300 pages or 500 pages. Well, I'm releasing my stuff in mini books and tiny like white papers and stuff on the Internet Archive. I suggest you go to the Internet Archive and search for David McCullough Cash or David Cash, and search my Twitter at jmuskov at jmuskov on Twitter. I have a very active Twitter on my free cell phone, thanks to the Biden administration. Same with my cheap Wi-Fi, thanks to them. But like, look, that's not popular in Alabama to say that, and I say it anyway. So I'm just don't fit in here with the political party, and they're not gonna let me do anything. So if I did run, I'd probably have to run as a Democrat, which would be the House uh, Senate race in 2026 or 2024, or the Senate in 2026. And anyway, I thought like that's another option for me. Like those are similar skills, and I'm a good critical thinker. And like then all I get told with this just voice in my head that will not shut up, like, oh, it's dirty politics, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. But all these other people seem to get through it fine and can run a clean race. But when I try to do it, it's got to be all unfair, and I got to get threatened and messed with chemicals and told and yelled at by my dad because I told him about it, and like, I'm tired of this, man. I'm a grown man and I'm trying to pay my bills, and I'm tired of being pushed around by these people all over the world. They're pushing me around, and I mean, they like, it's just, I'm being watched 24 hours a day. It's just too much, and I just like, I have less than $100 in my bank account right now. I don't know where the next bit of money is coming from, and my dad now doesn't want to send PayPal anymore for laundry or random expenses that I may need, as he was before, after I told him about my political ambitions, which conflicted with his politics or his version of what I was supposed to do. And then he did a few other things. So all I know is, like, okay, I would want my dad's approval to do that, but just like, I could always run for a local election. There's plenty of jobs. And, you know, like, I don't know, man. It's just nobody. I'd like some official views. I'd like a chance to make some money, and I'm tired of being locked out of this country's financial system. And I feel like just because my name's Cash, you think this is funny, and you think that I couldn't just bring down this whole financial system when nobody will share any wealth with me, and all I get is just I don't even get a seat at the table except my own, and I don't get anything except just being ignored and marginalized. Okay, but you know, like if I have to lean more Democrat, I will. But I got to keep in mind my dad's a Republican, and I gotta respect that and also understand where he's coming from about his beliefs. So, and the truth is, I don't know who's going to win any election. I can only guess, just like they guess on DraftKings, the fantasy football game, like who's going to win what game and then make money off of it. You know, I don't know, and I think a lot of people aren't really as smart as me, let's just be honest, or aware as me. Of course, that could all be gone in a second after you do something to me that's going to totally fuck my life up. But, like, I'm tired of being threatened, and that's all. Like, the minute it just seems like I feel like young people are being left out of the political process, and I'm not that young, but I kind of look young, or at least for now, and I'm not I feel like young people, and I've experienced it, that don't get involved politically aren't really young people in America as a whole voting bloc are being ignored because they don't vote, and they're maybe afraid to vote or apathetic, and because of that their needs are not being met uh, by politicians who are only working for older people and ignoring a whole group of a demographic of people that have the ability to shift the election either way. And I don't care which way it is, just shift it one way or the other. You know, like I might, but just to have that factor in there is important to me because like my lifestyle and beliefs isn't the same as somebody who's a retiree or you know, whatever, or just, like I'm, whatever. The point is that, like, anyway, if you like any of my stuff, help however you can. I have a PayPal. This is the main thing I could ask you to do. But, like Alex Jones, who everybody knows after he got on his, they mentioned him in that Sandy Hook trial, and he got famous off of it, it seems to me. Like, he lost so much money. Yeah, well, I was listening to him. I mean, I listened to a little bit, like, but like, that guy never mentioned me, but like, he'll talk about me, he'll insult me, he'll cover me. All these people just get all up in my business, and then they don't want to pay. The way you pay is by saying my name over and over again until people get the message and start going to my website, and you guys set up some kind of payment plan for me. But I put in the work and the time with this whole media thing, and I feel like I'm being shortchanged by this country. And this country can pay a serious price if I don't get a legitimate some kind of deal here. Because I mean, this is ridiculous, man. Like it's just not fair. And I've got the audience. I just don't have like the approval of some bureaucrat, whether it goes as high as Joe Biden or Donald Trump or whoever. Why should I vote for either of them or support anyone or anything in this country when I can't get a fair deal because of my politics or race or whatever it is that people can't just mobilize behind me like they do a far right candidate like Mo Brooks or a radio show host like Dale Jackson, who are basically far right conservatives. I mean, even though Dale Jackson tries to appear like young and cool, he's not cool to me. He didn't advocate for the whole marijuana more act. Yeah, I know what the name of the act was that passed all that marijuana legislation that he didn't say a word about on the day it was passed. But yeah, that's politics, buddy. Why don't you look up the day that was passed and how you said nothing on your show about it. Good thing I was listening. But like, look, I just mentioned him, and then he goes and gets people on there. I don't even think this dude has a YouTube page or a Twitter page or anything. But like, all I'm saying is if you think that things are bad now, you're going to be very sad when you realize when you don't pay somebody like me and run somebody off from a bunch of different jobs and treat somebody like this. Other countries can get involved and help me, and I hope they do. And I don't care if that's the Russia or the Ukraine or Jamaica or Zimbabwe or Zambia or Estonia or Latvia or Lithuania or Chile or Bolivia, and I could go on because I know geography or wherever. But any like Iran, Saudi Arabia, any country that feels like I'm being treated like crap or like dirt, like just less than human, please let me know. And so when I have to walk to work and like all I'm saying is, here's the deal. Okay, I've got 5 more minutes left before my video is too long and gets deleted from YouTube. So David McCullough Cash, DavidMcCulloughCash. A search on Google will find enough about me that you can listen and find me. Internet Archive, where I do my document drops, kind of like the whole NFT thing. And my NFT is sort of what I'm doing now, but it's based on my name, and my name is actually connected to a decent amount of money thanks to my parents, and a small amount of money thanks to me, as well as my digital investments, which include digital rights and digital sort of real estate online. Just like anybody tries to be known, I've done this a different way just through the internet, and I didn't really, but like, I don't know. So anyway, so if you want to help with this situation and you claim to care about this situation and want to talk about me any further, I may just like try to sue you or something if you keep talking about me, because without my consent, and just use my intellectual property and all my stuff. And it's like stuff like, oh, Will Smith hit Chris Rock, haha, this was so funny. But then you link the story back to me and see, oh, it was really about this guy, and it's just like, but guess what? Guess who got paid? Will Smith and Chris Rock. Guess who gets all the Netflix specials? I could easily do a comedy special and have a Netflix special like, I don't know, Rob Schneider or Adam Sandler. But no, I don't get the Netflix special. I don't even get to do stand-up comedy in my local town unless I contact the booking agent. Well, I don't have time. Like I try to like, I'm trying. So I don't know. And people, all I can say is, if anybody cares at all in this country about the rest of this country, or like the situation that is not fair and is discrimination, clearly from a local perspective, from a national perspective, and from an international perspective, but probably less internationally. Um, Please go to PayPal, 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 the money transfer service, paypal.me/pre-owned clothes, PayPal.me/PREOWNEDCLOTHES. The reason I chose that name is because when I started my PayPal, I was selling t-shirts from Polo online. And that was how I got started. And they won't let me change it. So this doesn't mean anything else. So anyway, I'm really asking my country to like give me a little bit more respect and stop wasting my time and thinking that this is all manageable and this is all something that, anyway, whatever. So please donate. I think you can donate, $20, $30, $50, whatever you can, $5, $10, maybe even $100. If you're really serious, how about $500? And if you want to pay me to endorse your business or your cause or your political campaign or whatever it is, or your commercial, your product, your business, whatever, your CD, you can ask me and I'll do that, sure, if it's reasonable. But 256-658-9939. If I don't get any calls or emails, something else is going to happen now, and you're not going to like it. And I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be a serious answer to just my sort of being ignored and screwed with.